Sydney is a city with everything to offer, and its dining scene is no different. Visitors can get their first taste of Australian cuisine aboard Qantas flights. First and business travelers experience a menu designed by one of Australia's most famous chefs, Neil Perry.
One of the dishes I really love that kind of makes it back on the menu every 2 or 3 years, particularly in first, is a lovely piece of fish that we poach in coconut milk and garam masala. And we're quite famous for it, the original rock pool, and it just flies beautifully because curries and food with full flavours just taste so good in the air.
In economy and premium economy, passengers enjoy meals inspired by Perry and prepared with the finest Australian produce.
The whole philosophy is exactly the same as I have in the restaurants. That's sourcing the best ingredients we can find, keeping it really seasonal, and making sure that we train and work with the people that are going to deliver it, which is the crews.
Qantas and Perry work hand in hand to source ingredients from Australian producers, as well as the airline's many destinations. Every meal is authentic and delicious, and complemented by Australian wines and snacks like Tim Tam biscuits.
It's really about not only what the customers are experiencing, but how we're able to help build these Australian businesses.
And for a great meal in Sydney, you can't go wrong with one of Perry's restaurants. The flagship Rockpool 1989, Rockpool Bar and Grill serving modern Australian fare, and a modern Chinese restaurant called Spice Temple. Perry's widely acclaimed eateries feature unique Australian plates loaded with influences from around the world. And when Perry dines out in Sydney, he often seeks those same flavors. One of his top picks, the Bridge Room, specializes in dishes crafted with fresh, seasonal ingredients. Some items are slow cooked over charcoal, a Japanese tradition. Perry also recommends Esther, a restaurant run by 2 of his former employees.
It's just a fantastic endeavor for young kids trying to do really great things. Got a wood-fired oven, bakes the bread there every day, some of the best bread in Sydney.
For an Australian-inspired meal, Perry suggests Billy Kwong in Potts Point. It's a Chinese eating house that embraces locally grown and organic produce with a focus on Australian bush foods. And for seafood lovers, Perry says Golden Century in Sydney's Chinatown is the spot for you.
Golden Century is really awesome for live seafood, so you go and have mud crab and abalone and lobster and go with a big table of people and just share everything, and you get to really see a lot of wonderful fresh Australian seafood.
If you're after a simple night out in Sydney, take a cue from Perry's family.
I really love to go to Chinatown. I spend a lot of time in Chinatown and Koreatown, down around World Square, so I eat a lot of Korean and Chinese food with my family when we're just doing simple things.
His top picks in Chinatown include danji, a Korean barbecue that's a cut above the rest. A love for Asian cuisine is something that Perry shares with many Australians, and something you're likely to indulge too on a tour of Sydney.
I think the way that we treat and integrate Asian food into our food is completely different to the way anyone else does it in the world, because I think we do it with such understanding.